Good morning, students. So in the last class, we have discussed the different types of functions and different tools, all the basics related to the MS Excel. Today, we'll see the next practical, that is data visualization using MS Excel. So in data visualization, we are going to study about the construction of the different types of charts. That means we are going to study about the graphical presentation and also the diagrammatical presentation of data, which we have already discussed in the theoretical practicals. So in theory practicals, we have done the construction of histogram, frequency, polygon, all that. So now in today's class, first we'll see about the construction of histogram. So whatever the practicals we have done in our theory, that is observation notes, so that one, the same histogram, frequency, polygon, everything, how can be constructed by using the MS Excel functions? Now we'll see. So in today's class, we'll learn first start with the construction of histogram. So here what I have done, I've used the function merge and center. So here I have used merge and center, where you find it here, merge and center. So just for notating my heading, I have written this. Now I'll enter my data. So our data consists of two columns. First column is marks and second column is number of students. So if you observe this number of students, it is crossing my line, right? So one way is that I can simply double click on it. So it will become, it will adjust that space. Another thing is that I can use the function wrap text. The last class I have explained about the wrap text. So if you click on the cell and click on here wrap text, it will display in that cell only. So no need to extend that column width. So now I'll type the marks. First is 0 to 10. Next 10 to 20. 20 to 30. 30 to 40. 40 to 50. 50 to 60. 60 to 70. 70 to 80. 80 to 90. And the last one is 90 to 100. So these are the different marks. So here the group data continuous series is given. So now coming to the frequencies, that is number of students are given as 8, 12, 22, 35, 40, 60, 52, 40, 30, and the last one is 5. So this is the given data. So for this given data, now I'll construct the histogram. First of all, what is a histogram? We know in the histogram, you'll draw some rectangular or rectangular bars or rectangles which are proportional to the frequencies. And we know that in histogram, there will be no space between each and every rectangle. So first, coming to here, so first after entering the data, you need to select your data. So select your data. I'm selecting my data along with the labels. Labels means the headings, the column headings, or you can select the data without your labels also, that is without your column headings also. Next, from this insert menu, there will be, I said, different types of charts. So if this option is available only in the advanced versions, if you have MS Office, the older versions of MS Office, then you will find this option in the tools. You will have an menu called tools. Under tools, you will have charts. Then under charts, you will have these different types of charts, that is column, line, pie, bar, area, scatter, and various types. So if you observe, we want the column chart. We are drawing the rectangles, right? So select the column chart. So under column chart, you can select any type of chart you want. So I'm selecting the first type of chart. So my histogram is displayed. The chart is displayed. But if you observe, is this the histogram? No. Our histogram, this is one rectangle, one rectangle. There will be no gap between these rectangles. So for this, what we do is click on anywhere in the chart, then right click on it. So if you right click on this, you will get format data series. So select the format data series. If you want, I'll show again. Right click, then format data series here. Then if you observe, you have gap width. So this indicates how much gap you want between each and every cell. See, one from one rectangle to other rectangle, what is the gap? If I'm increasing this value, the gap is also increasing. So for histogram, there should be no gap between each and every rectangle, right? So reduce the gap to 0. If you reduce the gap to 0, you will get this histogram, the required histogram. So you can fill any colors to your histogram. So if you want, you can add colors to this. So as I like green color, I'll fill it with green only. So next you can add borders. So whatever the histograms you have, you can fill it with the dark green color. So I'm using dark green here. You can use border styles, what kind of border width. So here the border, if you want to increase the border to 1 point or 1.25, that means the border, whatever the border is there, you'll get the thickness will be increased. So you can select here. So whatever the modifications you want, you can do it here. You can choose the 3D format of your graph histogram also. So I'm not going for it. I just want a simple histogram. So close this, we'll get the histogram. So basically in a histogram, I said in the theory class that on each and every rectangle, we have written the frequency also. So for that, what I'm doing is again, right click. Here you have add data labels. Click on this add data labels. So by clicking on this add data labels, you will get the corresponding frequency to the length of that rectangle. So here the frequency, that is 10 to 20, the frequency is 8. Similarly, 0 to 10, the frequency is 8. 10 to 20, the frequency is 12. Like that, on every rectangle, line will be displayed. And here you have the lines, the horizontal lines. You can remove that lines by formatting it. So if you format plot area and grid lines, you can remove this grid lines also. You'll be having grid lines here. You can remove the grid lines. That means this horizontal lines will be 1 second. And you can also change this titles. If you want the, I'm here displaying it as histogram. So I'm writing the heading as histogram. So another way is here, if you click on anywhere on the chart, here you get format option in your chart. So if you click on format, you'll be getting different formats of this charts. So here, if you come to chart area, here you have different types. That is, what is the chart title you want? Already I've given as histogram. What is the horizontal axis? That is this one. Horizontal means the x-axis values. Similarly, if you want to format that one, everything can be formatted. Now, if you, I said we can remove grid lines, right? If you click on this, any one of the grid line and right click on the any one of the grid lines, you'll have format grid lines. So in that format grid line, you select no line. So obviously the background will become empty. There will be no grid lines in your histogram. So in this way, we can visualize. So by observing this, we can say which one is having the highest frequency, lowest frequency, everything. So this is our histogram. So after histogram, what is the next type of chart we have studied? we have studied about the after histogram, we have studied about the frequency polygon. So now we'll see construction of frequency polygon. I'll write a heading by using merge and center function. So construction of histogram images increasing the font size. So construction of histogram. Sorry, construction of frequency polygon, right? Sorry. So after histogram, construction of frequency polygon. So what is a frequency polygon? You get a line chart. So just in our theory class, what we have done, we took the midpoints of the each class interval and then join those values with the corresponding frequencies. We get the required histogram. So here I'll try to solve the same. I'll take the same question. So what is the key we can use to copy this one? Control C, copy. I want to paste it here. I'm using for pasting, use the command Control V. So this column, my first column value data is selected and pasted. Next is I will be pasting these values. Even the frequencies, Control C and Control V. So now this, for the same data, I want to construct the frequency polygon. So now construction of the frequency polygon. In the same way, select the chart first. Select your data. After entering your data, here I'm showing with the same problem. Instead of that, you can use the other data also. You can try with other numbers. So generally, this frequency polygon, how do we type the data? We are going to join the midpoints, right? So first we need the midpoints. We are going to plot the frequencies against the midpoint. So first to find the midpoint, what is the formula actually? Midpoint means lower limit plus upper limit by 2. That is average of the two limits, two boundaries. So first we write the lower limit values here. So here I can use wrap text. You keep using all the terms so that it will be easy. So what are the different lower limits? First is 0, next is 10, next is 20. So here, if you observe, there is a same simultaneous numbers you're typing 0, 10, 20. So next will be obviously 30, 40, 50. So whenever you have this format, what can you do is select your values till now. So instead of typing all the values, one shortcut is that you can select these values and here at the corner, you'll get this plus symbol like this. Then drag this one up to where you want. So the remaining values will be obviously copied in the same format. Next is upper limit. So for upper limit also, what is the condition? I'm using wrap test again. So for upper limit, we have to write the upper limits here. So first upper limit is 10. So write 10, next is 20. So I want to drag these values. The same pattern, next will be 30, 40, 50 like that. So what I'm doing is, I'm going to select these two values. At the end, at the corner of your selection, you will get a plus symbol. So drag that one, drag up to the values. You get the upper limit. Now I want to find the mid values. Now find out the mid values. So for this mid values, what I said mid value is lower limit plus upper limit by 2. That means you're finding the average of the two numbers. So average. So here, instead of directly typing 0 plus 10 by 2, you can do in that way, or you can use the average function. So in the last class, we have discussed about average function. So So whenever you are typing any value, you're using any function, you're doing any calculation, don't forget that first you have to type equals to. So type equal to, what is the function I'm using now? Average. Type average, open the brackets. So for which values I want the average? For these two values, for upper limit and lower limit values. Now close the bracket and press enter. So if you observe 0 plus 10 is 10, by 2 is 5. So we got the average. So for first value, we are doing average. So for the remaining cells also, right from here to here, the last cells, the remaining these all cells also, I have to find the average only. So average here, what we have done? Average of these two cells. So if I'm writing value here, the corresponding, the beside values, I'm finding the averages. So in the next cell also, if I want the average, what I'm doing? Average of this beside two cell values. Average of beside two cell values. Obviously, the next values also be in the same format. So even the functions can be copied. So select the values. The format is same. We are finding the average of the beside two numbers. So drag it, we will get the all averages. So after getting all the mid values, now we have to plot the mid values against your frequency values. So these are my mid values. Here I have frequencies. So now what we do is select this one. I'm just writing two columns at one place. So Control C, Control B. So I've just typed these values to here so that two values will be at a time so that the selection will be easy for me. So I'll select the mid values and the frequencies. So remember for frequency polygon, what we do? Always we first find out the mid values. How we find the mid values? First we write down the lower limits, next we write the upper limits, then find out the average of those two limits by using the average function. So after selecting the data, insert. So here, which type of chart we have to use? So here we have column chart, here we have line chart, here we have pie chart, bar chart, area chart, scatter. If I use line chart, what happens? Let's see. If I use line chart, what is happening? I'm getting two lines. One is, if you observe, one is for middle values and another line indicates the number of students. But this is not the chart I wanted. I wanted the mid values to be, this frequency should be plotted against the mid values. So what we do, this is not the required chart. So don't think that a line will be drawn, a freehand curve will be drawn, so use line chart. No, insert whenever you want a freehand curve. So we go for scatter. Scatter means what? Distribution of points. That means we are going to draw freehand curve. So always for a freehand curve, use the scatter. So from scatter, select any type of curve. So this scatter, if you observe the first one, only the values will be plotted, but they are not joined. If you observe here, the values are plotted and also are joined. Here also they are joined, but not the points are not specified, only lines are specified. Here also similar one, here it is joined with a freehand curve, here the straight lines are joined. So whichever you feel comfort, this one or this one, you can use anything from both of them. I'm selecting this one. So this is the required frequency polygon. So add the title. What is the title? My title is frequency polygon. This frequency polygon, you can do as many as changes. So here also we can add data labels. So click on, right click on any point, add data labels. You get the data labels. So for this line, you can format this line. You can add colors, line color. You can change any color of the line. So you can choose any color, whatever color you feel comfortable. Similarly, for this points also, points are given blue color. You can change that one. Format data labels. You can, for number, you can give any color. You can fill that one. You can change the border color, border style, everything. Any formatting you want. It's just a visualization. Whatever is your thought, you can do that one. Now this is the histogram. Basically, I don't like grid lines, so I'll remove grid lines. So this is histogram. Sorry, this is frequency polygon. So now we have completed histogram. We have completed the frequency polygon. Next type of chart under the graphical presentation is Ogive curve. So now we'll construct the Ogive curve. I'm writing a heading. Construction of Ogive curve. So what is an Ogive curve? What does we do in Ogive curve generally? So in Ogive curve, for the given frequencies, we find the lower cumulative frequency and also the upper cumulative frequency, which is also known as less than cumulative frequency or greater than cumulative frequency. You can call it as greater than cumulative frequency or less than cumulative greater than or more than is same, less than cumulative frequency we already know. So now I'll type up one more question. So let us take in some other example for this. So I'll take the same class interval with different frequencies. So whenever we are using same class interval, I'll copy this and I'll paste here. Next is I'm writing the number of students. So the frequencies are given as. So let us do it. Now, write down the frequencies 8, 12, 22, 35. So let us take the same problem. Or if you want, we'll change the problem. We'll consider the same question. Okay. We'll copy these values. I'm pasting these values for the same question. I'm constructing the Ogive curve also. So for Ogive curve, what we do generally, we find the mid values first. Next, we find the lower cumulative frequency and upper cumulative frequencies. So what are the lower cumulative frequencies? So before finding lower cumulative frequencies, we want lower limit and upper limit also. First, I'll find the lower cumulative frequency. So I'm just doing the values here, which can also be called as less than cumulative frequency. Less than CF, that is less than cumulative frequency. Next is greater than cumulative frequencies. So now we have done the 2-1, that is less than cumulative frequency and greater than cumulative frequencies. How to find these less than cumulative frequencies and greater than cumulative frequency? Less than cumulative frequency, it is same as how we find the cumulative frequencies. So how we find generally cumulative frequencies? The first value we write as it is. Next, what we do? In second value, we are going to add. Add means here I'm using the function sum of. So I'm finding cumulative frequency second value. So I'll add the first two values. Next, third one, sum of three values. So cumulative itself up to the particular value. So I'm going to find the cumulative frequencies simultaneously for all values. Sum of, by using the sum function, I'm going to find out the cumulative frequencies. You also try to do, don't leave all this. Very important one. And the last one is 304. So this is the cumulative frequency, and we can also say that this is your n value. Next, greater than cumulative frequency. So generally greater than cumulative frequency, how do you do this greater than cumulative frequencies? These greater than cumulative frequencies are expressed as, generally we start with the upper value, right? We write here 308, sorry, the n value, that is 304, and we keep on subtracting 304 minus 8. This 304 minus 8, whatever the answer you get, minus 12. Instead of that, we can go in a reverse order also. So in the reverse order, at 304, we can write the value as 5, the last value 5. Now whatever the value we have here, that value we can write here 5. Next, keep adding in the reverse order, equals to sum of here last two values. Then we get sum of, one second, here the value is erased. Here the value is 30, right? Yes. Now here use the function sum of these two values. So we have typed 2 brackets, so I got error. So be careful while typing. So equals to sum of, now the last three numbers, sum of last three numbers. Next, similarly, equals to sum of the last four numbers. Next, equals to sum of the last. So wherever you're typing, from there to last value you select, you'll get the greater than cumulative frequency. Sum of these values. Next, sum of from 35 to 50. Next, sum of from 22 to last value. Next, sum of from 12 to last value. Next, last sum of all the values. So remember, this first value you have to get 304 only. This last value, this first value should be same. So now I got the less than cumulative frequency and greater than cumulative frequency. So basically how we plot the values, we plot the lower limits against the greater cumulative frequencies and upper limits against the less than cumulative frequency. So instead of that, what I'm doing here is I'm going to consider the lower limits only, including, so if I consider here lower limits, if I consider lower limits, what are the lower limits I can write? 0, 10, 20, so like that, the values up to here, I'll get 90 values, up to 90 only. But we can plot this lower limits again greater than cumulative frequencies. And we have to plot the upper limits, this less than cumulative frequency against upper limits, right? So in upper limits, what do we have? 10, 20, 30, 40. Again, the same values we are having. So additionally, what we are having the extra number 100. So we'll be having 100. So what we do here is these values, I'm just cutting it, Control X. I'm just pasting in this next value so that here I can write 0. Similarly, this last value I'll write 0. So because we don't have any frequencies at that place, we can start in this way also. Now select these 3 columns, that is your limit values. So these are nothing but which can be displayed on the x-axis. So x-axis values less than cumulative frequency and greater than cumulative frequency. Now go to insert. So here also we want some freehand curve, right? So whenever you want freehand curve, what is the type of chart we can use? Scatter. So scatter indicates freehand curve. So select the any type of the scatter chart we want. So here the less than CF and the greater than CF. So if you observe, here it is displayed. The blue color line is the less than cumulative frequency line. So this curve is the maroon color one is the greater than cumulative frequency curve. So in this way, we can construct the Ogive curve also. So for this, you can add your titles. Anything can be done in the format. In the format and the chart area, you can give the chart area. You can write the horizontal axis here and vertical axis you'll be having, chart type you'll be having, everything you can change. So here also you can draw the, you can construct, add the data labels for this line, and for this line also I can add the data labels. So remember, what is the intersection point generally? The intersection point is the median. So if you want to find the median, just click here. Here you can observe the point here, perpendicular line if you draw, this will be your median value. And similarly, from the histogram, you can calculate the mode also. We know how to calculate the mode by using histogram. You can use the formula and find out the mode value here. So by drawing the perpendicular lines here from here to here and from here to here, that is top left to from the median modal class, from this point to this point, if you can draw a line from this point to this point, you can draw a line. The intersection, if you draw a perpendicular line somewhere in this cell, that is 50 to 60, you'll find your mode value. So this is the graphical presentation by using the MS Excel. We have done today the construction of histogram, the construction of frequency polygon, and also the construction of Ogive curve. So how we have done this one? It's a very easy process. You have to enter your data. You have to choose your type of curve. By choosing the appropriate chart type, then you can find out this values. So you can start your Ogive curve. You can include this 0 and 304 value here, or you can remove that values also. So in the next class, we'll see the diagrammatic presentation and also the that one, descriptive statistics using the MS Excel. So different types of descriptive statistics we have. We will study all that in our next class.